I made a post about rejection. And what I said was, and I'm just obviously having a look at this, rejection is entangled with projection. Did you project, get rejected, and now fear putting yourself out there because you projected instead of connected? And somebody made a comment on that asking what I meant, and I asked if it was okay to answer it at the Ask Me Anything. And the reason I want to answer it here for you guys is because it's just so much easier and fluid to have the verbal conversation about what that means. So here's what's happening. You may have a degree of fear around putting yourself out there, connecting, getting on social media and having conversations, or putting direct offers in front of people, whether that's on social media, in emails, or even on your sales calls. You may be holding back in directly making offers, and it's because you're fearing that rejection and starting to feel like what you have isn't worthy or isn't good enough, and you actually are scared to get that no. And kind of feel like that no or that rejection is personal to you. And I did a little bit of research, specifically for those of you who know me quite well, you'll know that I love words. And I also really love to go and find out what words mean, because your inner wisdom already has everything within you, whether that's from your ancestors and generations, but also from a universal perspective. You're already connected and understand the universe at a subconscious and at a soul level. So you don't use words at random. And what's really interesting is over time, words the way people use words has transformed, and they've taken on meanings in, say, contemporary society that they don't actually represent the root of what the word means. And people are walking around using words thinking that they mean something, but it actually means something completely different, and your inner wisdom already knows what that means. So you might want to have a pen and a paper ready for this one, because I found it to be incredibly profound, and it also gives you an opportunity to shift that rejection or that fear of rejection into connection. So why did I say rejection is entangled with projection? Well, first of all, you can't have law of contrast. You can't have one thing without its opposite and the other side, right? Like two poles of a magnet. You're going to have a positive charge and a negative charge. So whenever there is one thing occurring, the opposite is also occurring in conjunction. And the reason that I shared rejection is entangled with projection is this. If you go and look up the etymology of the word rejection, so etymology being the root of the word, where it originated from, and its original meaning. And so if you go and look up the word etymology of rejection, you will learn that the true meaning of rejection is throw away or to throw back. Now, in order to throw away or throw back, if you think about that as a motor action, the direction of expression is toward in order for you to be thrown away. You have to be incoming toward somebody for them to throw you back, to throw you away, right? To reject. So that's the first clue. Then I went a little bit further and I went and had a look at the etymology of the word projection. Because if we're seeing that rejection is you are being thrown away, in order for you to be thrown away, you have to have first come forward. So I went and found out where what the word was, the original word was for how we describe thrust forward or go forward. And that word was projection. The etymology of the word projection actually means thrust forward. So the reason you are perceiving that you've been rejected, and we're talking about in a business sense here, but it's a principle, so you can apply it anywhere. But the reason that you are perceiving that you've been rejected in business is because you projected, you thrust yourself forward in order for somebody to then throw you away. And the reason that you were rejected was because you thrust yourself forward, and the reason that you thrusted yourself forward was because of your I-centric nature. Some of you have been with me a little while now. You know that I do talk a lot about our I-centricity. You can't escape it, but you can start to understand it so that you can be in control of it rather than it controlling you. So we're building upon this statement of rejection is entangled with projection. And did you project, then get rejected, and now you fear putting yourself out there because you projected instead of connected? We're going to go a little bit deeper. So we've spoken about what rejection means, to throw away, the etymology of rejection. We've spoken about, in order for you to be thrown away, you first had to have thrust yourself towards someone, the direction of expression. So you've projected yourself towards them. And because you've thrust forward rather than connected, that's why you've been rejected. Now, let's have a look at the meaning or the etymology of the word connection. And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about what I'm about to share with you. So, connection, the root of the word connection, the etymology of the word connection means the meeting of one means of travel with another. I'm going to say that again. The actual meaning of the word connection is the meeting of one means of travel with another. Now, in his piece called Essay of Circles by Ralph Waldo Emerson, he talks about circles, obviously, Essay of Circles, right? And he talks about how a circle is really, really important because a circle doesn't have a center. The center of that circle is actually everywhere. So you travel in circular motion where there is no beginning of you and no ending of another, and you are traveling as one in a circular motion when you connect. And so this is why connection becomes important, because rather than you projecting from your I-centric nature and then the other person having to reject you to bring you back to your balance, because when you are projecting, you're thrusting forwards. If you can learn to travel in a circular motion with humanity, now you're in unity with yourself and others. And remember, we're talking about principles here, and we're talking about it in the context of your business, but this is whether you want to connect in your intimate relationship, if you want to connect with humans to grow your finances, if you want to connect with humans to, build your health and fitness, it's the same principle. If you project, you will get rejected. But if you can learn to travel in unity, that being a circular motion, the essence of connection, then you don't get rejected. You begin to be able to share your message and your mission on a much bigger scale because you're at one with yourself and humanity. So that is what I meant by, if you've been rejected, it's because it's entangled with projection, and it's because rather than connecting, you've gone and projected, pardon me. And so when we have a look at the meanings of those words, now we start to understand. So if you find yourself in that fear-based mode of being rejected, I really encourage you to have a look at, go back and have a look at, well, how did I thrust myself forward? How did I project myself? And how might I do it in a different way next time that really honors that unity and that circle of connection? Because that's where that's where you are able to really maximize your ability to connect with another human being, and therefore not only do they then get their problem solved because you have this service that you know can change their life, but if you don't master the principles of human connection, not only do you continue to miss out on serving them and growing your mission and having money and all of those wonderful things that come with having money, but they equally miss out on having their problem solved, because they're going to find someone regardless, whether it's you or someone else. And wouldn't it be much better for you and for them if you could start to master the principles of connection rather than projection, rather than eye-centricity, so that both you and them have everything that you want in this life?